Hey guys,
Hey.
thank you for being here today. So you're here to share a little bit about your own startup journeys. You are now developing in the incubator of Umeå Innovation. So could you please give us a short introduction? Who are you and what do you do? We can start with Fredrik.
Sure. My name is Fredrik Sahl and I am from Flow Below. We help wastewater and water companies to find problems area in the dug down sewer networks.
Okay, cool.
My name is Meiju Vartiainen. I run a company called Movida, where we are building a new type of platform for smaller landlord companies. So we're kind of combining a real estate system with a accommodation service.
My name is Mikael Östberg. I'm one of the founders of Memutus, which is an app that works like a messaging service like Messenger or WhatsApp, but designed for healthcare. And especially designed for people within healthcare that works with a lot of follow-up, for example, physiotherapists.
Okay, cool. So we have three very different companies here today, startup companies. And the theme of tonight is good tech. And of course, we chose you to be here because we think you are working for a higher purpose. But what would you say is your technical solution that you think can make good for the planet, for human beings, or for the society? Mikael.
Okay, so for us it's pretty straightforward. We're not just another digital health service. We want to put a digital solution in the hands of everyone working with follow-up within healthcare, so they can help more and help better. Okay. And the users themselves, they say that they might help as much as twice as much patients as they can today without that kind of solution. And of course that have a great impact on life quality. So yeah.
Okay, so you're really focusing on the human being.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Fredrik.
Sure. The question was.
The question is, what is your technical solution that you think can do good for the planet or society or human beings?
Right. So we utilize sensor technology from the IoT sector that is on the rise, especially now in Sweden. We use smart sensors, small sensors, to solve problems that has been hidden away basically for 20, 50 years because the sewer networks are dug down.
Okay.
But I'd like to flip a bit on the question because not to focus too much on the technology early on, especially for us who are very early on. We've been in the business for about a year now, and instead focus a lot on the customer and the problem to begin with. The technology is just an enabler. It comes second to the problem. And we have noticed this throughout the course that we approached the problem first and noticed that since we had an interest in the technology, we saw a solution. So it was a new market fit for existing technology, new technology, but for a very old problem that is also unfortunately becoming more necessary every day to solve. Okay,
but if I understand you right, you develop like sensors who measure water who's leaking out from underground, right?
Yes, the problem that we are trying to solve is water that is actually leaking into the sewers and causing floods in basements and also overflows which pollutes rivers and lakes.
Okay.
So we are using small sensor technology to detect these type of inflows.
Okay, so are you aiming to help the planet, the climate, or is it people mostly, or who do you aim to help?
We aim to help primarily, of course, it's the people that are interested in solving the problem because it affects us all. But in the end, it's not very good for either the planet or the animals that live in the lakes that are polluted. So everybody is the beneficiary here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Meiju, what is Movida doing
For the planet.
For the planet or for the people?
We're doing a lot for the landlords at least. Now, but as we're working in the accommodation market and in real estate, everyone needs somewhere to live, right?
Yeah.
And we help our landlords, or the ones that we work with, to be better at structuring their daily work so that they can easier structure out all the apartments and stuff that are able to be rented out, so those ones can reach the accommodation market even faster. So that's one part of it. And the other part of it is that as our target group is smaller landlord companies, we have a lot of smaller landlord companies, but a lot of them are selling out their apartments because it's just not that easy to structure it up. And we need those small landlords companies because we need the rental market. And not everyone can afford to buy an apartment. And that's where we can make the biggest impact, I think.
Cool. And if you think back to when you started your journey as a startup, did something change along the way, or are you still developing the same business idea that you did from the beginning?
Well, yes and no. So on like an oversight, we are still aiming to do something for the greater good and having an impact on rehab. But reaching and taking steps towards that vision, I would say we're constantly adapting, learning, and changing stuff. So we're changing pretty much all the time.
Okay.
That's in our DNA, and I would say our biggest strength as a company.
Cool. Meiju, would you say you can think of a specific situation where you really need to change your business?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, from the beginning, I was having like 8 jobs to finance the first version of this solution that was more focusing on connecting landlords or connecting people who had accommodation with people who needed accommodation. And that's a solution that I basically totally needed to scratch and trash it, throw it into the bin, and start from the beginning. So I think that was one of the points. I mean, I learned to actually talk with the customers, and that was the point that hurt the most, but also was the changing point for Movida as a company and as a business model as well. But that's something that really got started to work like a lot with a solution that you at the end need to just throw away. But it feels good today.
Good. That was my next question. How do you feel today? But you learned a lot, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I learned to gör om, gör rätt, you say in Swedish, so just do the right thing. And I learned a lot about our customers, and most of all, I learned a lot about our customers' customers, which helps me a lot, or us a lot, in developing our platform towards that target group as well. And so I would say it was really good for us at the end.
Okay. Fredrik, you are a pretty new startup still.
Sure.
You won the startup program pitching last year. Give him a big applause for that.
Thank you.
But so far, did you have to change your business idea, or is it still the same?
No hard pivots, no big changes, so to speak. But we are working very close to our customers, and we notice all the time new areas to explore together with them, since we know what we are good at using our technology and what we are experts in, our own products. And we see new areas to explore together with them that we can help them with. So no hard pivots right now, but we are constantly finding new interesting side projects that could be equally important to solve.
For sure. And we do have an amazing crowd here today, and I'm sure some of them feel eager to develop their own business ideas. So if you could turn back time and start over from the start, what advice would you have given yourself based on the experience that you have today? Fredrik, you can continue.
I'm very happy to see myself in a situation where I found myself to be like a jealous partner, basically looking at LinkedIn, finding my customers saying, I have this problem. And then I see a competitor or possible competitor answering a really nice answer to the question, and I feel jealous. Like I knew that too, because you really need to be interested in your customers and have that curiosity for what's your real problem here. What are we trying to solve? And if it's you have to be selective. You shouldn't solve every problem, of course, but try to be interested in your customers. And as you said, your customers is even more important. That's when you really understand the business.
Exactly. And Johan talked a little bit about that before, about the lean startup method, when you ask and work a lot with who is your customers and what do they want. So is this something you realized during the startup program, or did you know it before?
I became better at identifying good behaviors, I guess. Is it a good behavior to stalk your customers? That's an open question.
It's a little bit creepy, actually. It's creepy, but it's good. Meiju, what would you have advised yourself?
It would be nice to be able to go back and actually do that for oneself. But for now, I think I have 4 things that I would like to say. One is to try to have the right mindset in thinking of it actually being a marathon run and not a sprint, because there's few companies that are getting sold in 1 year. There are those ones, of course, as well. I wish I'd had one. No. That's one thing. And the other thing is that there's this quote, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that, I think, is a really good one, because then you really need to think of, okay, who is the people that you're surrounding yourself with? So who are you working with? Who are you partnering up with? All these, collect good people that are so much better than yourself, I would say. And also think of who is the one that's going to pay my salary in 1 year from now. Hopefully it's the customer, and if it is the customer, we really need to start early on to actually learn of who the customer is and what the customer needs. I mean, if I would have done that, I wouldn't have needed to have 8 jobs and work and do this first solution and then throw it into the bin. I would have learned a lot more directly in the beginning. And the last thing is to ask for help. I mean, Umeå, especially Umeå, I would say, is really good at people are helping out if you just ask. I mean, Uminova, we have that one as well. I mean, there's so much help to get if you just ask. Write to anyone on LinkedIn and they'll help you out. I don't think I've ever got a no when I've written to someone on LinkedIn.
That's really good advice. We do have a strong network in Umeå, so really take the help that you can get. Mikael, what would you have advised yourself based on your experience today?
Okay, so I was talking about we're all into testing, learning, and adapting.
Yeah.
And the best advice would be to, as fast as possible, learn from real data. And with that, I mean what users and customers are doing in our app, and not focus too much on what they are saying that they would do. So, because there's a difference in what people say and what they actually do.
Okay. So today, compared to before, you are using more statistics from the app.
Yes.
Are you still talking with your customers?
Absolutely. So both are needed, but what they are doing is fact. Okay,
cool. But a combination is good.
Yes.
Nice. Johan, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
You have some questions from the crowd.
Correct, I do have. Thank you, first of all. Thanks to the audience. Great questions. We had a quite hard time to choose, but the first question we found relevant is to all 3 of you. How long is the process from start to actual customer order? Do you have any?
I can take that one. So our process has been pretty long. We are working towards our first paying customer after the summer. So it has been a really long development journey. I mean, you talk about trying to get out there as fast as possible, which usually works well. In our case, we work towards real estate owners, which is a more of a conservative group that needs a pretty big platform as their first platform. So we have had a really long development process. So I think it differs a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We take that as an answer. Anyone else filling in with experience from start to getting the first deal signed?
It's still pending.
It's under process. I think that's pretty much covers, I mean, reality.
Yeah.
It can differ.
It definitely differs between different applications, I guess. You have a lot of customers interacting with your app, and that must be even more important than actually rushing to get paid for the full package, so to say, because you're in the long run with whatever product you're developing.
Yeah.
So it's not not always a matter of getting paid as fast as possible.
No.
But of course, there is a deadline.
And it's like you say, I mean, to find customers that are eager to actually work with you to develop. I mean, we've been working with 5 real estate owners for 2 years, and then to get them as customers, I think that's
That's perfect.
the lower term. Yeah.
I think you say thank you for that. It was really valuable information. And this one, I think I can state it directly to Magdalena, since you're covering more like a general here. Have any one of these guys pitching backstage tonight, I'm translating now from Swedish, have they started a company yet, or are they like only in the phase of idea?
Some of them have started a company, and some are still in the ID phase.
Yeah. So it's both. It's a mix. Great question, by the way. And the last one is dedicated to Flow Below. It says, there are already quite many sensors available in the area where I understood that you are looking for solving problems. What is special? I mean, what is your unique specialty compared to these sensors? There are also some of them that goes under, I mean, battery, so you don't need to have any kind of external energy. And how long? It's quite detailed questions. I think you will meet up. You will meet up with this guy later on out here. But just briefly, what is the unique thing then compared to existing sensors?
Sounds like it, and it's an interesting topic, more than a question, I guess, because we actually don't produce any sensors. We, like whoever asked the question said, there are lots of sensors out there. And the important thing is picking the right sensor or the right technology in a wider sense for your particular application. So what we do is we excel at picking out the right sensor for our customer need. Okay. And then we help them understand how to use the technology where they don't have the expertise or capacity to utilize modern technology. That's our market fit, I think. We help them use nice, good technology together with the data analytics also. So you have to focus on what's the important thing to solve using this technology.
Okay, so like a decision support system in
so
one way.
What we excel at is actually putting together a package of everything and help them solve the problem.
Yeah. Great, and once again, feel free to come up with these guys later on during the mingle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually have one more question. If you would name one goal that you would like to have fulfilled within 5 years, what would you say? Tricky question.
Many to choose between. I would say it would be really nice with a bunch of people from both the patient side and the healthcare side that comes up to us and say that we couldn't be without this service. My life and my job would be a lot worse without it.
That's a very beautiful goal. I like to hear that. Thank you. Meiju?
I would like to have a lot of customers, really many customers.
What is many customers? How many?
Oof. I mean, I would like us within 5 years to be one of the leading solutions for smaller landlords in Sweden, at least, and also to be able to cover the costs for a great team as well. I mean, to be able to have a own team in place, and that, of course, equals to a lot of customers as well. So I would say that one of the leading solutions for smaller landlords.
Thank you.
We have 5-year time span to plan on here.
Yep, 5 years.
Okay. On a personal note, I would really like to have a tight team in 5 years that are just happy to work on the projects that we work on and happy to work together. Because unless we are happy working together every day, I think it might be a problem in the long run anyway. So I look forward to having many good colleagues.
Good. Thank you very much for sharing with us today. Please give them a big hand of applause.